All right, well, the water level is up at Shasta, giving farmers and local businesses a little bit of hope this season. And right now, the largest man-made reservoir in California is just 40 feet below capacity.
Water levels are on the rise across Northern California. That includes Shasta Lake. Action News Now reporter Chloe Curtis shows us what the rising lake levels could mean for local businesses.
In a surprising turn of events, officials overseeing Shasta Lake are facing an unexpected development that has left experts in complete shock. After experiencing years of persistent drought, Shasta Lake recently witnessed a remarkable recovery in 2023. Hope was on the rise for this once thirsty reservoir, but now a sudden and shocking incident has occurred, leaving water managers confused. Is the Shasta Dam really about to overflow into the city? Could this become a potential catastrophic event? Join us as we explore the surprising recent events at Shasta Lake that have left officials astonished. The evolution of water control at Lake Shasta. Shasta Lake, found in Shasta County, Northern California, has been getting attention because its water levels have been rising at a rate that experts are having a hard time comprehending. As of October 12th, the water in Lake Shasta is at 1,019 feet above the sea, which is a lot higher than in 2022 and 2021, when it was 114 feet and 180 feet lower, respectively. Even though this increase is good news, the people in charge of the water are puzzled because some strange things have been happening lately. To understand what's happening at Shasta Lake, it's important to know a bit more about the bigger picture. Lake Shasta is really big, covering about 31,000 acres. It's the largest man-made lake in California and was made as part of the California Central Valley Project, which started in 1944. They built the big Shasta Dam on the Sacramento River as part of this project. The reason they did this was because there were big arguments about how to share California's water fairly. What makes Lake Shasta complex is its design. It's made up of 4 main parts formed by rivers: the Sacramento River, the McCloud River that starts from Mount Shasta, Squaw Creek, and the Pitt River that begins in Alturas and has the beautiful Potom Falls along its path. Before Lake Shasta was built, the Sacramento River flowed naturally, which helped in farming by giving water to the dry lands in the Central Valley. But this river was unpredictable and had no control. The building of Lake Shasta was a big step in managing water in California. It can hold about 4.5 million acre-feet of water and sits at an elevation of 1,067 feet. This helped make sure there was always enough water for farming and the people living there. But this change caused some problems. When they diverted the river to fill Lake Shasta, it caused a lack of water for farming in the southern San Joaquin Valley. Different places fought over the water because the Sacramento River's water levels changed a lot throughout the year. Sometimes in summer and fall, it was deficient, but during spring, the heavy snowmelt from the Klamath Mountains and lots of rain caused big floods. To fix these issues, the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation started a project in 1933. They built Lake Shasta and 19 other dams along rivers like the Trinity, San Joaquin, and Sacramento. These dams helped control how much water flowed in the rivers, store extra water when there was a lot, and stop big floods. Lake Shasta and its dams changed how California manages water a lot. They made sure there was more water for farming and less risk of floods downstream. The Shasta Dam, especially, is a big achievement in engineering. It doesn't only hold the Sacramento River, but also controls the McCloud and Pitt rivers, adding about 6.2 million acre-feet of water to Lake Shasta every year. This makes Lake Shasta the 10th largest man-made lake in the United States, providing water to California for nearly 100 years. The water from Lake Shasta is used for different things. Most of it goes to farming, about 60%, which is important for the area. Over 30% goes to the cities in the Central Valley for the people living there, and the rest is used to help plants and animals in the Sacramento River. Besides storing water, the Shasta Dam also makes electricity. The Shasta Power Plant under the dam makes about 667,000 kilowatts of power. This can power many homes and gives the government about $50 million every year. Apart from its practical uses, Lake Shasta is a great place for fun. People can go boating, water skiing, fishing, swimming, and kayaking there. The town of Redding nearby adds to the experience with its beautiful surroundings and facilities, making Lake Shasta not just a reservoir but a fun place for the whole region. When spring comes with a lot of water, Lake Shasta can store a big 1.3 million acre-feet of floodwater, which stops floods and erosion in the area. But even with the huge Shasta Dam, unexpected heavy rains can cause flooding, like what happened earlier this year in Redding and Shasta counties, which worried the people living there. This is where things start to get intriguing. Shasta Lake's battle with dwindling waters. In California, where there's been a drought for about 20 years, having a lot of water at Shasta Lake is a big deal. But in 2021, there was a problem when the water level at Shasta Dam dropped to its lowest in 44 years. This massive 522-foot-tall dam had its water level go down to 230 feet, which was the lowest it had been since 1977. This water drop made everyone worried because it could affect many things like farming, making electricity, providing clean water, and even the survival of endangered fish like salmon and trout. Don Bader, who manages the area for the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, said the situation was really serious. He mentioned that the drought, which had been going on for a long time, got worse because more water was being used since 1977. Shasta Lake, which used to give enough water, was under a lot of pressure because more people were living there now, and big farms were using a lot of water too. The Bureau had a tough job deciding who should get how much water from the lake. They had to think about cities, farms, and places downstream that needed the water too. This was hard because they had to make sure everyone got enough water, but there wasn't much left. This decision affected things like how much power the Shasta power plant could make, which affected places like Redding and nearby areas. Because things were urgent, the Bureau had to do something fast. They decided to reduce the water supply by up to 45% in some places. These measures were tough, but they were needed to save the little water that was left for everyone's needs. Now, let's explore the recent happenings at Shasta Lake. The unexpected rebirth of Shasta Lake. In a surprising turn of events this year, there was some incredible news at Shasta Lake. The water levels, which had been a big worry, suddenly started going up. This brought a lot of hope and positivity to the area. It looked like the problems that the communities relying on the lake's water were facing might start to get better. The rise in the water levels at Shasta Lake happened because of a change in California's weather. There was a lot more rain than usual, which helped to fill up the lake, along with other nearby water sources. Also, winter storms brought a ton of snow to western Shasta County, more than usual, and this added a lot of water to the reservoir. Because of all this snow and rain, Shasta Lake's water levels started going up. By May, the water level in the lake had gone up by almost 150 feet since the beginning of 2023, almost reaching its total capacity. It reached an impressive height of 1,064 feet above sea level, just 3 feet below Shasta's full capacity of 1,067 feet. This was the highest level recorded for that time of the year since 2019, coming close to the peak level of 1,064.5 feet recorded in 2019. The cycles of drought that California went through also helped fill up Lake Shasta quickly. In the past 10 years, the state went through many droughts, which made the water levels in different reservoirs drop. But something interesting happened during these dry times. Sediment and debris built up in the reservoirs. When the rain finally came after the dry spells, these sediments and debris were washed into the reservoirs, making them hold more water. Not just Shasta Lake, other important reservoirs in California, like Lake Oroville and Tulare Lake, also saw big increases in their water levels. This was a good sign for the state's water resources. But while all this good news happened, another story unfolded for a different lake, Trinity Lake, a big reservoir formed by the Trinity Dam in Trinity County, faced a tough situation. In May 2023, it was only 39% full, a lot lower compared to Shasta Lake, which was nearly full at 98%. Trinity Lake's water levels were a huge 120 feet below the top of the dam, showing how serious the situation was. Donald Bader, from the Bureau of Reclamation, talked about Trinity Lake's struggle. The lake had 3 years of drought, making things tough in 2023. But that's not all. Challenges and controversies at Shasta Lake. In contrast to Lake Shasta, Trinity Lake had a smaller area that collected water, which meant it filled up more slowly. This made its water levels stay low for longer. The good news was that the higher water levels at Lake Shasta gave some hope for Trinity Lake. The Bureau of Reclamation could keep more water in the Trinity Dam instead of letting it flow into the Sacramento River, all thanks to Shasta Lake having so much water. This was important to keep enough water in the Trinity region. The plentiful water in Lake Shasta was a huge relief for the community. It was a big help for farmers who needed water to grow their crops. It also helped refill the underground water sources that were almost empty because of the long drought. Plus, having more water meant people could enjoy activities like boating and fishing again, which brought in tourists from different places. Also, having more water in Lake Shasta helped the area's environment. The higher water levels made new homes for lots of different water animals, making the area more diverse. And it made the forests and plants around the lake healthier, making the whole area more balanced and thriving. But even with this time of getting better and feeling hopeful, something strange and unexpected happened at Lake Shasta. Officials were confused, and the community was worried about what was going on. The recent developments at Shasta Dam have stirred up controversy among officials. In mid-June, the water levels at Lake Shasta experienced a significant drop of 45 feet. Water managers had to release water downstream from Shasta Dam to maintain river flows, especially for agriculture, but the inflow from other sources remained low. By the end of July, Shasta Lake's water level had declined further, reaching 22 feet below its peak recorded in May. As of October 12th, Shasta Lake stands at 1,019 feet, a substantial 47 feet below its full capacity. This level is a stark contrast to the same date in 2022, when it was at 923 feet and even lower, at 887 feet, on September 17, 2021. While there was some improvement in water levels this year, experts remain deeply concerned about the ongoing decline. Climate change and water management practices have led to this decline, making it a challenge to manage Lake Shasta effectively. Hydrology experts like Professor Graham Fogg from UC Davis emphasize the importance of careful monitoring and thoughtful water management strategies. They stress the need for continuous vigilance and quick actions to ensure a sustainable water supply for the region. The California Water Plan Update 2023 is one significant initiative addressing California's water distribution and reservoir management. It focuses on sustainable water management through advanced technologies and scientific approaches, aiming to balance the needs of agriculture, urban areas, and the environment. The plan includes the Reservoir Reoperation Resource Management Strategy, assisting local agencies in effective water and resource management. Additionally, the Forecast-Informed Reservoir Operations Program, developed by the Department of Water Resources, utilizes scientific forecasting to better anticipate and manage large storm events, maximizing water supply opportunities and enhancing the state's ability to handle extreme weather. Governor Newsom's comprehensive water strategy aims to create storage space for up to 4 million acre-feet of water, emphasizing recycling and reusing water by targeting 800,000 acre-feet of annual recycling by 2030. These initiatives represent significant steps toward sustainable water management in California. These strategic measures underscore California's commitment to addressing citizens' concerns. By embracing innovative approaches, leveraging scientific advancements, and implementing comprehensive plans, California strives for a resilient and efficient water management system, crucial for the environment and residents' well-being. The controversial push to elevate Shasta Dam. During the construction of the Shasta Dam from 1938 to 1945, extensive lands were flooded to create California's largest reservoir. This led to the displacement and destruction of Winnemem-Wintu tribal lands, impacting their ancestral grounds and disrupting the habitat of Chinook salmon, causing them to be endangered. Now, a proposal to raise the dam's height by 18.5 feet is on the table, aiming to benefit large agricultural landowners in the southern Central Valley by providing more water during wet years. However, this expansion would further flood Winnemem-Wintu lands, jeopardize sacred sites, and harm endangered species, aggravated by climate change. Induced water temperature increases. The project's necessity is debatable given declining water usage due to conservation efforts. It would also exacerbate ecological risks and cultural losses for the tribe, which continues to fight for their rights and salmon preservation. The state of California opposes it due to environmental impacts, and Congress has yet to act on restoring federal recognition to the Winnemem-Wintu tribe. Despite concerns raised by biologists about its negative effects on salmon, the dam's expansion is favored by politically influential groups tied to agriculture. Critics worry about potential environmental disasters akin to the Oroville Dam failure in 2017. Moreover, in an era where dam removal is encouraged, funding this project might incite public backlash due to its perceived inefficiency and environmental hazards. Ultimately, the dam raise's primary beneficiaries seem to be a select group of influential landowners, raising questions about its necessity, environmental consequences, and political implications in an era moving away from traditional dam-based water storage. Do you support the proposed 18.5-foot expansion of the Shasta Dam? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.